1932, Germany. He looks at a camera. A crowd watches him, listening to what he has to say. More than 13 years have been allotted by fate to test and evaluate those who are in power today, but they themselves have handed down the most severe verdict possible by acknowledging in their own propaganda the failure of their efforts. At one time, they wanted to govern Germany better in the future than in the past. Today, however, the only real result of their style of governing is for them to merely observe that the German people still live. During the days of November 1918, when a liberal democratic republic replaced the monarchy, they solemnly pledged to lead our people, and especially the German worker, into a better economic future. Today, after they had nearly 14 years to fulfill their promises, they are unable to cite the well-being of a single German occupational class as witness to the quality of their efforts. This was paragraph 1 of Hitler's speech for his campaign as president of Germany. 7 years later, Germany invaded Poland, thus beginning World War II. For the next 6 years, 70 million people would die. Of that 70 million people were the 12 million victims of the deadliest, most brutal genocide in human history. 1938, German Reich. You wake up one day, you go to the fridge, you find nothing there. You go to the store to get some food, they decline because of your race. You go back home to see a man there waiting for you. According to him, you are no longer allowed to have a home or a bank account because of your race. That means that the only money you have is the money you are supposed to use to get food. You're mad about this and decide to vote for a different party. But you can't vote for a different party because of your race. In fact, you don't actually have any political say in the matter. You say, oh well, and go to the hospital where you work at. But apparently you are kicked out of the medical industry because of your race. And also you are no longer a citizen. You are homeless, you're stateless, and you can't do anything about it. Soon after, you're sent to Dachau, the first concentration camp in Germany. This is what life was like for every Jewish citizen. Well, it's not really citizen because, like I said, they don't have any citizenship. So, this is what life was like for every Jewish person in the entire German Nazi Reich. So, you would expect this person to either die or just suffer there. But there was actually a third option. Between 1938 and 1939, Hitler thought about sending the Jews to some other place. But after World War I, Hitler didn't have any colonies to bring the Jews to. However, after the fall of France in 1940, Hitler got all of France's colonies, except for French Chad, and launched the Madagascar Plan, basically sending all of the Jews, some of the Jews, I guess, to Madagascar, where they would be watched by the SS. Of course, Jews still died on the way to Madagascar, but it wasn't a direct kill. But then the Battle of Britain changed everything. The German Air Force was deeply damaged by it. So now they were discussing on whether or not to continue the Madagascar Plan. It was eventually stopped in February 1942 after the failed invasion of the Soviet Union. And at that point, there were already a lot of concentration camps all over Nazi Europe. In those concentration camps, you were beaten up and also just suffered there. And if you tried to escape, you were killed. Concentration camps like Bergen-Belsen and Auschwitz were pretty brutal to the Jews. When you were a prisoner, you were malnourished, ill from all the diseases, weak from the lack of food, and just sad because of how powerless you were. And all you could really do was pray that freedom will finally come. At some point, it came into the horizon. In November of 1942, the Free French liberated Madagascar, and on June 6, 1944, the Allies invaded Normandy. When the Jews found out about it, their spirits rose. Help was coming. Actually, fun fact, the British and the Germans fought in the concentration camps so the Germans can feel sympathy over the Jews who were stuck there, finding out what their people are really doing. And finally, on April 9th, 1945, 11 months after D-Day and shortly after Hitler committed suicide, the Allies won World War II. But at what cost? 12 million people lost their lives in the Holocaust, making it the deadliest genocide in human history. Runner-ups being the Mongolian invasion of Western Xia in China and the Khmer Rouge of the 1970s. As of 2020, the survivors are still alive, but once they die, there will be no more people to learn about the Holocaust firsthand. One of the people who already passed away was Elie Wiesel, who was in Auschwitz and Buchenwald and lied about his age to stay with his father since he was already separated from his sister and mother. He eventually wrote Night and died in 2016. The Holocaust is the most extreme example of nationalism going too far. It also shows what happened when human lives are thrown away like a speck of dust. So, thanks for watching.